This is Just AMZN on Monday, October 7th, 2019. Take a look at the 5 minute. We had a little bit of a gap down, and that wedge, I mean, it didn't really play out like a wedge. We did have it act as resistance. So I took it out of here, but I had drawn this like this yesterday. And so if you continue that up, it pretty much showed kind of an X marks the spot, but also just the line of 1747 worked great as a resistance. We actually just bounced in this range today. Small candle, high wave candle, because we opened here and we closed about that same spot. Had a great bounce with a really nice hammer off of 1727.80, and then ran up to 1747, and then rolled back down. We were kind of doing this interesting pattern. It started to look like an evening star reversal. Then you had this really long consolidation here, which ended up breaking down. And I like how it broke down quickly through the 21, retested, and then continued making lower lows and lower highs. And then you got a little bit of a double top here, and another little consolidation that from a double top looks like it's just going to break down and continue to go. And instead, this massive rally bounce thing happened for 10 minutes, and then that completely petered out, and it did go down the rest of the day. So if you were in bears from here and you had your stop rate above it, you may have gotten stopped out. Depending on what option you're in, you may have been stopped out. Just kind of an interesting day. If you look at kind of the day without the first half hour and the last half hour, this kind of looks like a double top just on the middle part of the day. But I mean, it didn't really look like that starting here, and then we actually broke down here. So that's what I'm saying. Just focus in on this. It also looks like we've got some lower highs here, and bigger picture, kind of some higher lows too. So overall, today was kind of a triangle shaped day. If we connect, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. If we sketch this in and connect the highs and the lows, and I'm going to change this up in a minute, but come on, just snap to something. Okay, there's that, and there's that. Usually when I draw a triangle like this, the next day it goes bigger, usually. So what I'm thinking is, I know that works nicely for a triangle. I'm guessing that tomorrow's going to be another kind of inside day, which would be a good day not to go two directional, but it's going to push this out a little bit. It doesn't necessarily have to stay within this range or this range. We may get some wicks outside of that. I mean, even if you bring this down and still kind of have this, form something showing. So that's interesting. That would kind of connect up back over here if I did that. Okay. Anyway, just trying to get the idea of this looks like it's indecisive and it's going to form some sort of triangle. It doesn't have to. But we just had a really, really nice indecisive candle today, right into 1747. I mean, it was a great bounce off of 1727, pushed below 1727.80 a little bit, but did do kind of a double bottom. If you look, I think on the 3 minute shows it. Oh, too far. Yeah, on the 3 minute, you get a little better double bottom here. Neckline didn't really retest that, but got above the 21, a little bit of a flag here and continuation up. So at any point you could have been in bullish here with a stop far enough away, or absolute zero, depending on what option. Actually, it's a Monday, so you'd have to go pretty far out to do that. And then as you ran up here, you did do sort of kind of a double top up here, the second peak being higher than the first peak. If we go down to like a 1 minute, that one's easier to see. There, you can definitely see the double bottom on the 1 minute. You can see a double top on the 1 minute. This triangle is great. I love this triangle. It formed a perfect triangle, perfect for trading. Look at that. I mean, you didn't even have to be on the 1 minute to see it. Making some lower highs, making some higher lows, breaks down. Actually, did that break down and then retest? Because that makes it even better. Yeah, broke down, well, kind of, I mean, it gapped down, retested, and then rolled over. And then a retest here into the lows. That's just a great triangle. It's unfortunate it's on a 1 minute. We don't usually look at a 1 minute. Anyway, back to the 5 minute. You can trade a 1 minute. Just practice that and know what to look for. I like going down that far just because I like seeing how things move. And on Amazon, here, I'll go back down to the 1 minute for a minute. You don't really, the volume works a little different. The prices work a little different. On a 5 minute, you'll see a big candle come in, and it's just because someone got a price filled down here on its own, apart from anything else. But because there was a price previous over here and a price down here, the candle has to connect it. On 1 minute, you see a little less of that connection because it happens in a minute. It's so quick compared to the entire 6.5 hours of trading every day. So down in here, it's like, oh, there's a price. That price, there was 660 shares traded for 1735.88 exactly. And that's at 11:34. So if we look at the 11:30 through the 11:34 candle, it's going to look like this big, massive candle, even though there was next to no volume here. There was 100 shares here and a little bit of volume down here. Here, this is a good one too. 11:35 had some selling here, but then buying here, selling here, buying here, buying here, and we have a nice big bullish candle there. Even though we had the big volume here and we had big selling volume here, it just how the candles look, just understanding what's going on in the candle. All right, so that was 11:35. Let's go back and look at 11:35 to see that candle. Nope, that one, 11:35. Nice candle. That is, let's see, open, the low are pretty close, the high and the close are the same. So by 3 cents, it was not a Marbozu. But that looks like a great candle at, I guess, kind of pre-market or the open high. That's a candle you trade off of being, oh, that's a Morningstar reversal. It's like, what's really going on in that candle? Anyway, I'm off track a little bit today. Buying here, selling here, selling here. How's that look? All right. So let's get into some of the buying into calls. So 1730 is where we had left off yesterday. If we go back and look at like 1750, we're a little further away. But we actually did get pretty close to that. Something's not right. It's, yeah, that's where we left off last week. Let's look at the right week. Okay, I get the right week, and this is much more expensive, which makes sense because you're just looking at Friday prices. Okay, so we came down with the move down into 1727.80, right into the prices here, right around $9. That was a great hammer. You really could have been setting up 9 by 8. Should have been filled here, stopped down here, didn't even get close to the stop, and then just ran up. And not only did it get right back up to the open price, but it ran to the point that it was just about at the money. And on a Monday at the money, you really could have doubled this option, almost doubled. Sorry, from 9 up to 16. I guess whatever your target would be, 1747, probably 16 if you're watching it. Otherwise, as it's getting close, or if you didn't want to watch it, get in at 9, get out at 14, 13, somewhere up here. Even getting out at 12, right above the high. It's like maybe it won't get that high, but really nice triangle here. Showed some good signs of some strength there. That was this consolidation here, where it actually looked a little bit like it could roll over here with an evening star reversal and then recovered. This doesn't look like a triangle at all. This looks like it's a triangle with a flat top and higher lower highs, and then that broke out. And then you had opportunities to be buying over here, but it looked like it was going bearish. So I don't really think somebody should have been buying over here. Let's see, was there another place to buy? It wasn't really another place to buy. If you happened to be buying there, it worked, but I don't know why you would have been. And then looking at puts, let's get again into the right week. We almost made it into the money here, or we were kind of right at the money. Wow, much lower volume. See, this is like what we saw in the 1 minute, just little, little prices all over. Okay, so you would have been trading that. Well, you could have been, but the volume's just not there. So if we go a little further out, 1700 puts, that would have been okay. A little more volume here. This is something we can look at. Now we put in a low here around 4, and then kind of with that consolidation, we actually on the option made like a double bottom that continued higher. So you could have gotten in like at 1747 right here at $4, and then it wouldn't have made it all the way to 6, which was really interesting. You would have had to scalp an R getting out at 5 or 550. I would have probably been just trailing my stop to like 450, maybe over here. It's like, okay, it's make another kind of triangle over here. I'll move my stop up to 5. And this comes in, and who knows what price you would have been filled at. It's possible that with the stop, you could have been filled way out like 450 or 425, or even break even at 4. On the option though, this just came into the same price, really right around $4, and then bounced and actually got back up to 6 here. So if you had a stop far enough away, if you got it at 4 and stopped down at 3, you were fine. And if you didn't move the stop, even with that kind of move, and it didn't continue back up into 70.47. When I saw that it wasn't going back up there, it's like, okay, this should roll over. And let's see. Yeah, it's like it should roll over. I was not the calls. I was looking at puts. Was I this far out? Okay, I think it was down at 16. I was down at 16.75. So right around $2. I thought this was a nice base, getting in at 2 and getting out at 3, and just scalping an R there. And it was going, it was moving, and then that breakdown happened. It got way down here, didn't quite get down to $1, and then started to recover, but again didn't get back up to 3. So that's what I was in today, and it just didn't work. Went sideways, made a little bit, just kind of scraped out a little bit over here, but not what I was looking for today. So tomorrow, if we get some more indecision, this is the 3rd day in a row of some bullishness coming in. Today was much more decisive. I was trying to look back to find another 3 candles in a row where it's bullish and indecisive, and the last time that happened was right here, which is really interesting because this is really where we had the 5, or after that, the day after, this big bearish candle, the 5 crossed the 21. We had a buying type candle down here, like this was the first one, this was the second one here, indecisive candle here, and then a breakdown. I can totally see that happening if we roll over totally, but I was looking for something else, like where we had just three bullish candles, and then that kind of breakdown, and the high wave candle being the third one, and this didn't really have it. Let's see, still trying to find something that kind of fit that. So maybe here, indecisive, that's 3, yep, and then indecisive candle, a little bit of bearishness, and then it actually gapped down and rallied. So that's possible too. That's actually a kind of a similar position below. No, we're not above the 5. Well, we're at the 5, but we're still below the 21. So that could be fitting. If we get a little bit of a gap up and then get a small candle, it could even make a higher high and a higher low, but bearish. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So that's 5 minute, that's the calls, that's the puts, and we'll back soon with more. If you enjoyed this video, this is just AMZN. Thanks.